you. Fight for the living too. Side by side, with courage we'll outwit those who break the law, think they'll get away with it. No more excuses, used time and time again. They don't bring back stolen lives, nor bury any pain. From the building site beyond the old town hall, past the farms, through the fields, beyond the urban sprawl, from the docks and rolling freight, go to work, come back safe. Oh, we hold close, loving memories of all of those sons and daughters, partners, comrades true. We remember you, fight for the living too. Behind the banners countless come on this day to remember loved ones who have gone, to remember we are strong and our fight for them goes on. Loving memories of all of those sisters, brothers, comrades true. We remember you, fight for the living too. We remember you and fight for the living too. We remember you, fight for the living too.
Thank you very much, Claire Mooney, and thank you very much to the Lantern Band who played us in. My name's Hilda Palmer. I'm from the Greater Manchester Hazards Centre, Families Against Corporate Killers and the National Hazards Campaign, and I'm here to MC the day on behalf of a very committed group of North West trade unionists and families who organise this event every year, and I think you will agree has been very successful and has brought you all here today, and I'd like to thank all of them for all the hard work they've put in. We are here today on International Workers' Memorial Day, which is remembered all over the world. Today there are millions of people in every country in the world remembering the dead who were killed at work and fighting for the living. In the UK there are over 100 events and thousands of people like us gathered together to remember all those who died at work and to fight so that no more have to die, no more have to be made ill, no more are injured. And unfortunately, we're doing that against the backdrop of a government that's hell-bent on driving us back into the past and destroying the health and safety standards and laws and enforcement that we have all fought for years and years. Cameron calls health and safety a monster. We say what he's doing to our health and safety is monstrous. And today we speak truth to power and tell them they must stop, they cannot do this. We have a lot of speakers. I'm not going to steal their thunder, but I just want to remind you that 2.3 million people, men, women and children, mothers, fathers, sons, brothers, daughters, die every year from work, from illnesses and incidents at work. That's one person every 4 minutes. That's absolutely staggering. In this country, over 1,000 people, workers are killed in incidents at work, and up to 50,000 die of work-related illness. That's 6 people every day. That's absolutely unacceptable. And that is the situation that this government wants to make worse. I see here today safety reps who save lives. I see people who've lost their husbands and sons to mesothelioma caused by asbestos exposure. I see here people who've lost their sons to incidents at work and their husbands, and you are all welcome. And we remember everybody who died. They are not statistics to us. We are here remembering them all, but fighting for the living so that no more have to die as they did. Without more ado, I'm going to introduce, first of all, Neil Hope Collins from the trade union Prospect, he's a health and safety inspector, and he's going to explain what the government's attacks and cuts to the health and safety executive budget actually mean to our health and safety. Thank you.
Thank you, Hilda. Hilda's explained why we're here today. I'm speaking on behalf of Prospect members, the inspectors and scientists who actually work for the Health and Safety Executive. Every fatal accident that our members investigate leaves its mark on them. Every dead person leaves a scar on all those that are affected by it. But here today, I'd like to remember one particular fatality that is still happening. A 37-year-old that I got to know closely about 11 years ago, who is still being killed by government policy. I'm talking about the Health and Safety Executive itself. And as I grieve for the organisation that I work for, I, like many of you, will have gone to the theory books to look at what the theory says about grieving. It says you go through 5 stages. It says, first of all, there's denial. Well, quite frankly, that's what the government and the official line is at the moment. They deny that cutting the contact with the Health and Safety Executive, cutting the number of offices, cutting the requirement to report, cutting the staff, and increasing the burden on business through charging a fee, tax, penalty, whatever they want to call it, they are in denial that that is going to cause severe detriment to the protections for workers. That's the first stage, denial. Then comes anger. And there is a hell of a lot of anger. There's anger that the job that we do, our members do, gets misrepresented. It gets trivialised. It gets mocked. That makes us so angry. We get angry that the minister knows best, apparently. He dictates where we go. I and my colleagues will come out of inspecting one place in an industrial estate, surrounded by businesses. And we are not allowed to go and inspect them because the minister has said textiles is safe. The minister has said that docks are safe. The minister has said that although agriculture is dangerous, don't bother going and inspect them because they don't listen to you anyway. Because the minister knows best. Along with anger comes depression. Anger at the figures, whatever figures you use. HSE's own figures show that fatalities have risen. Their own figures on HSE's own website says that the figures for the first 3 quarters of this year are more than the figures for the whole of last year. Figures from its own site, regardless of the facts about the real figures, show that in the first 18 months of this government's administration, more than 350 people were killed at work. And that's their own figures, never mind the reality. And that is in a time of recession. History tells us that figures go down during recession, and then if the upturn comes, that's when the figures go up. We are getting really depressed about what is going to happen if a recovery ever comes. We're depressed about the ways of working that we're being forced into. Our members have no offices, no contact with the others. They're expected to go around and take money off the businesses they inspect. They're restricted as to where they can go. They are civil servants, so they are facing the whole raft of hate that comes for being a civil servant. Pensions, pay, the lot. I'm not even going to go there. The mantra that is coming more and more from the membership, from people working within HSE, is this is not the job I signed up to do. I signed up to protect people's lives, not this. You're supposed to then move to bargaining. You do not bargain with people's lives. You then meant to move to acceptance. Lord Young's view that these things happen, my dear. You just have to get on with it. That attitude suggests that it's acceptable. That death at work is acceptable. I can't live with that. We can't live with that. We have to stay angry. First time I was invited to speak here, in 2007, I caught myself out in my speech. I choked myself up on one phrase, which stands true today as much as any other time. It is the 21st century. Every worker should expect to be able to go home. It's that simple. We're here today to remember those who didn't make it home, but we're also here to fight for the rest of the workers to make sure they do. Please celebrate today, go and organise and fight for the living. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Neil. We're now going to invite Tony Lloyd, MP, who's going to talk to us hopefully about how the Labour Party and the trade unions, the Families Against Corporate Killers, the asbestos victims support groups and the Hazards Campaign can develop a strategy to tackle this.